Hello coin collectors and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to take a look at some 1983 quarters. We're going to look at the P, the D, and the S, and that is the Philadelphia, the Denver, and the San Francisco Mint coins. And you can see a pile of them here. And we're also going to talk about why the 1983 quarter is one of the most popular videos on the internet. In terms of coin videos, Big D Coins has 1.1 million views on his 1983 quarter video. And I'll put a little link to that, so if you want to go over to Big D Coins and take a look at that video, feel free, and the link will come up in about another minute or so, I think. But first, let's take a look at the quarters, and let's talk about the idea of a quarter. Now, a quarter in the United States, a $quarter, and we call it a quarter. It is because it says it right on it. Here we go. $quarter, or 1/4 of a dollar. So this is on the back or the reverse. And you look and you see at the top it says United States of America, e pluribus unum. We have an eagle facing to the left. Clutching in its talon is a sheaf of arrows. Down here we see some olives. So we have the war, we have the arrows, and then we have the olive branches for peace, and then the $quarter, which means it's worth 1/4 of an American dollar. On this one you can see it's pretty worn, but we do have this reeded rim, and there are 119 of these little lines in here, or reeds, as you go around the outside. And of course on the front we have George Washington facing to the left, which he has done since John Flanagan first designed this coin and engraved this coin in the 1930s. It says liberty above Washington's head and God we trust underneath his chin. It says 1983 here, and then we see there's a D here. And D is for the Denver Mint. And we're going to talk a little bit about how some of these quarters kind of get filled in and you can't even tell what the letter is. This one's pretty clearly a D because you can see no tail going down through there. Now, the quarter is an interesting idea itself because some countries have never had a quarter coin. So let's say the United Kingdom. This is actually a half crown coin. It's a Queen Elizabeth half crown, which is worth 1/8 of a pound. So they never had anything. They did have a crown, like a ceremonial or non-circulating crown that has been released every once in a while. The last of them was, I think, the Winston Churchill crown, and that came out in 1965. They put about 19 million of them, but they were all commemorative issues. A crown coin in the United Kingdom would be worth 1/4 of a pound. After decimalization, they've never released any except commemorative ones. And before decimalization, they didn't actually release circulating 1 crown or 1/4 pound coins after 1902. And that was Edward VII's coronation. So what do you do if you want to make a quarter of a British pound? Well, you take the 20 pence, which they came out with in decimalization in 1982. This is one of them. And then you add the 5 pence. So we do have the ability to make a quarter of a pound, both in the old days a pound sterling, which would have been a crown, and in the new days the decimalization pence, which would be 25 pence, would equal a pound, a current United Kingdom pound. So this was the Denver Mint we looked at, and let's take a look at this one. So look at this. So when you look at the D's, see how the D's get different kinds of wear on them? Let's see if we can find any more D's here. That's a P. Clearly different, right? P for Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Mint, clearly different from the D. You can't really mix these up if you have them both. Let's see what this one is. That's a D. Now that's the best D that we have seen so far. See how it's very clear? But this one does something that's really interesting, and you see this once in a while in coins. They hit the D so hard that there's actually a little indentation around it. See how there's this little halo around it? Because the D was pushed, the D mint mark, or the Denver mint mark, was pushed so far into the coin that it created a little indentation. So that's the best D so far. This is our, we'll leave that there. And then this was the P we looked at, and that one's kind of filled too. You can see the top of it's a little filled. There's another P. That's a little bit, oh, that actually looks like an F, doesn't it? Wouldn't that be interesting? The F mint, but then if you tip it this way, you see it's kind of dented on the bottom, but it's still a P. This one, another P. This is completely filled. So you see how we have a little hole there, little hole there. This one's completely filled. And then the last of the P's is here, and this is the good P. So the difference between the filled in P, let's take a look at those two. So when you get these 1983 coins, do take a look at the mint mark. So the Philadelphia, this is a filled one. This is what it looked at more initially here. You could see the full P. But the other thing that Big D will tell you, and everybody will tell you, is for some reason, there are not a real lot of great condition coins like this. I'll show you one, but it's a little bit off the grid, I guess you would say. And this is a 1983, and this is the S Mint, and you can see the S Mint over here. That's for San Francisco, and the reason that you're seeing this glare off plastic is that it's indeed encased in plastic, because this is the proof set from the United States from 1983. So this coin here is a proof set from the mint, which has never come out of its shell. And if we tip it here, we see it's just fantastic on the back. But this coin is worth about $3.25 to $5. But you'd have to, of course, take it out of here, or you could sell it in this whole set. None of this is silver, and you can probably get one of these 1983 sets for, I don't know, under $10 certainly for the whole set. But there is some that are this quality but have a P or a D on them. You're probably not going to see one because it would be in an envelope, like a collector's envelope. You're going to find it's going to be in something like this, or some kind of other specialized envelope, because or it's going to have a one of the coin rating services on it. So if you find one of these with a D or a P on it, and it's in what they call MS65 or Mint State 65 condition, that coin will be worth $30 to $50. But that coin, you would have to have gotten it back then, and somebody would have had to have saved it and not used it, and probably they would have had to get it either from the mint or in a roll of coins that didn't get scratched or didn't get dented. So an MS65 with a P or a D on it, in which you could see the whole P or D, is going to be worth between $30 and $50 and sometimes more. So that we have the P for Philadelphia, we have the D for Denver, and we have the S Mint mark for San Francisco. And there you have your 1983 coins. Why they're valuable? It's just because the lower, even though they made 1.2 billion of the P's and D's, they didn't make the mint sets, the many mint sets, and people didn't save them. They all have gotten used, and that makes some sense. We're talking about 37, almost 38 years ago that these came out. All right, that's all we have today from DC Cornwall International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.